Hello everyone, it's John here again, and I'm going to be showing you guys the trades of this current past week, the NFP week, and we're going to go ahead and review them now. So this week was very good for us. I actually did not lose any single trade. I did not trade on Thursday, like with the whole thing with NFP, like day prior to NFP. But there is still two trades that are very clean here on NFP that we're going to actually review them as well, but it's more for studying purposes. But yeah, without further ado, guys, first trade that I took, guys, on Monday, actually took it during the London session. So I took it around the 350 to 410 macro. So if I go to the 5-minute gap here, as we'll see here, that there is a 5-minute gap right here at formed at 335, and there's actually a high in it at 345. You guys can see that right here. And so what we'll notice here is that price goes and takes out this high. And I'll actually showcase the trade after I explain the trade here. But so yeah, price goes and takes this out. And if I go back to the hourly real quick, you guys do see the new week opening gap right here. I'll go ahead and mark it out with the quadrants as well. Okay. So I know this could be a lot for you guys to see right now, but basically, like, you can use each of these levels as a target or reversal point. But in this case, what I did is I went to the 1 minute as soon as I saw us take out this high. And I actually just went short right away. Reason being is that we actually do hit a 1 minute SIBI at the same time. You guys can see that right here. Actually, I'll make this like blue. See, this is the 1 minute SIBI right here. And on top of that, price did go and hit our 81 range area. So if you guys notice here, we hit this SIBI on the 1 minute. We are reacting off of this buy side from the 5 minute inside this 5 minute SIBI. This red box is the 5 minute SIBI. And you guys can actually see here that price goes, and we'll start playing it out here. Price goes and straight goes to this 87.50 mark. Now, I actually just turtle souped this entry right here and then went short instantly and targeted the 87.50. And that was my trade right there during the London session. However, you guys are like, oh, there's not really like another entry. Yeah, there's not another entry. But if you guys actually look and pay attention to this candle right here, this black candle, go ahead and mark it. We'll make it yellow here for you. You guys will see here the price comes right back in there and continues selling off. Now, why does this work? This is the entry for the 81 range, by the way, this fractal range 27. And on top of that, you know, if we are going to see prices keep going lower, the previous lows need to support price. So every time we have a low and it gets taken, we want to see it keep going lower through with that as support on price. But yeah, this was the trade. You guys can see here, literally at the 4 o'clock opens up and straight dumps. But yeah, we also did take a trade. Let me go ahead and delete this stuff. But we also did take a trade at 9:30. Now, it wasn't an A+ setup, how I would say, but definitely was the PDM model. And that's what I want you guys to see here, okay? And I did review this trade already, but we'll go ahead and review it again anyways. I'll go ahead and switch my range to 243 real quick. And if you can notice here, prior to 9:30, we did put in a 15-minute low right here at 8 o'clock. So that is our sell side right there. And our buy side is literally going to be, we can use this 15-minute high, these equal highs. That's perfectly fine right there. Now, I did use a few liquidity targets, and I also did use the midnight price, as I explained in my video earlier this week. But what you'll notice here is that on the 1 minute, we take out that low from 8 o'clock right here at 8:06. And price does create a IFEG with the last use gap right there. Price perfectly comes right into it and then starts the buy program. And you can see a very nice price delivery model 1. All right, I say 1 because that's the first one I'm teaching you guys. Yeah, it's the price delivery model right here. Guys can see here, price goes as low as to the fractal range below the range low, the 81 range in this case. And we displace very heavily to the upside and start the whole model 1. The model will finish at this buy side right here, the PDM model. Very, very clean. Now, I actually went and took this trade. Actually went and got multiple entries on this trade. So actually on the 15 seconds where I took it, and what I want you to notice here is that we also do have the last use gap right here on the 15 second. Right? So this trade is actually very, very clean. As I explained the other day, you also have a BISI right here. Quick review. You guys can really see here that all the ranges are in fact supporting price. We have another BISI right here. We have the initial change in state of delivery right there, black. But yeah, I just kept sending orders in right here, you know, all around this area. This is our area to enter the market. And I went and targeted the buy side. Now, remember what I told you guys, you know, when price creates fair value gaps with lows in it, and it doesn't take out the high and it comes back down, if it sweeps that low in that gap, then that after the sweep is done, I expect low resistance liquidity afterwards. All right, so we'll expect like big moves up afterwards. You guys can see right here, keep on doing the same stuff, sweeping the lows and the gaps and taking them higher. And then it finally goes and hits our buy side objective. Yeah, overall, this was a very clean trade. This is actually not a full A+, because we are missing POI for this trade, if I'm being 100% honest, but the PDM model was here, and we did have time and price liquidity. Time and price liquidity meaning that it's aligned with our ranges, and it's very, very, it's literally, how I would say, the algorithm showing its hand with the liquidity points. That's what it is, aligning it with our PO3 ranges. Now, on top of that, I did take another trade. I took 3 trades on Monday. So the next trade I actually took is actually going to be during the 11:50 macro, but I got in prior to the macro. All right. So we'll go back to the, let's see, the 1 hour. And I want you guys to notice here is that we do have this 1 hour inversion for value gap right here. So what I want you to notice here is this gap was used, and we actually swept this and caused the whole sell model as well. This gap was used again right here on Monday, 11 o'clock. You can clearly see 11 taps right there into it. At that particular point where 11 o'clock taps into this 1 hour inversion for value gap, that is when you start looking for your entries. So we'll go down to the 1 minute. Take a look here. Nothing too clear. So we're gonna go to the 15 seconds where I took it. So I actually used the 81 range in this case. And what you guys can see here is that price engineered this high right here. Now I know this is not a full-on, I would say, full-on range low to range high, but that's okay. So what we can see here is price goes and taps that 1 hour IFEG right here. And notice here as well, we do have this BISI right there. Now notice here, we have a low right there in the BISI. So price sweeps out this low, and as soon as we sweep this low out, I actually got in right here. Now, one of the entry models, and I'm gonna release this right now with you guys, so you guys can start like opening your eyes before I make the entry model videos. is whenever price sweeps out liquidity and makes a SIBI on the way down to sweep it, as soon as this SIBI gets inverted, that is a true inversion for value gap, and price should never ever come back down. So basically you sweep and then you invert the last gap that was there, and that right there is another entry. Now, this is something I've kept to myself for some time now, but I've seen it happen so many times that I literally just went long right here with my stop at this low, and I targeted this buy side, and I'll showcase that trade as well. But yeah, this was overall a very, very clean day. Go ahead and this, you guys here, price does go ahead and even goes as far as to complete the model, but it did take its time right here. But yeah, right there you can see the model gets completed around 12:19. Totally fine right there. And you can see here how this high actually supported price. See right here, boom, 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 and goes higher. But yeah, we'll go ahead and switch over to the next day. So the next day is going to be August 4th. We go ahead and delete all of these old drawings real quick. Go back to the 1 hour. Hide the ranges. And let's play this through. So what I really want you guys to notice here is that at 9:30, go ahead and delete this. At 9:30, price actually does not even hit our 1 hour gaps here. We already hit a gap here at 5, and it just started expanding higher. But if we actually go down to the 5-minute, you can clearly see here that at 9:30 we tapped this 5-minute BISI right here that's never been filled before. And we also do have the 5-minute inversion gap right here. If you wanted to use that, see it does we're coming off of a BISI right here, and then we invert this gap, and then price goes back into it and starts the buy model. So for this trade, there's not really a clear higher time frame setup besides this. If we go to the 1 minute, you guys will see here, and I'll turn on the ranges with the 243. You'll see here that we are coming off of a 243 range. And what we're looking for is to see us have some form of sell side to do this whole model. So notice here that we do have a 1 minute sell side right here. And we have a 1 minute BISI right here. I'll make it purple. You can see here, our price takes out this low and then starts a whole move higher. Now, I actually did go short and took close completely right here at the 904 low. And then I also went in long. I went in long around this fractal 81 range and a little bit above EQ. Now, I know I've told you guys don't enter at EQ or above EQ for a buy model, but I did see the bigger picture here. And I was aiming for a buy side specifically on the 1 hour. So if we take a look here on the 1 hour, we do have this high right here. Was this high? Was it? No, it was even higher. Right there. Perfect. So I'll mark that out. And this is basically like time and price liquidity. Why did I mark this high out? Because it's right in advance of the 243 range. So we go back to the 1 minute and you guys can clearly see here how perfect that liquidity is. So yep, that was right there. That was how I framed this trade setup. And it was actually a very quick trade, very bullishness on Tuesday. I also did go and take another trade. I took 3 trades on this day as well. So we're going to take a look at that. So we're already delivering off of this 5-minute, by the way. But looking here, if you actually see the 945 area, not 945, but 950, but we actually see here at 945, something very, very interesting happens. All right. So let me go ahead and show you guys here. We'll go to the 15 seconds. And what I want you guys to see here is that we actually are, in fact, delivering from a gap already. So here was this gap right here. Perfect. The gap that I used as well. Yeah, I literally have to look at my trades just to make sure, show you guys exactly how I took them. But we'll go back to the hourly. And what I want you to notice specifically is that we actually do have a high that is 5. No, not this one. Right here. Okay. So remember what I told you guys, right? When it comes to choosing liquidities, I like to choose the ones that are in gaps specifically. Now, there's times where I don't use that, but that's like a less, how would I say, less probability setup. But here we do have this gap, you guys can see there. And price is, in fact, it has a swing point in it. So I was definitely looking at that high. I know we have to take it, just like this next one as well. I'll go ahead and delete the gap now. And we'll go back to the 15-second here. And we'll go to when it first got taken here. What I want you to notice is that I actually took a long setup off here. Okay. I got in as soon as we swept this low out. Now, you're gonna see me, I usually just get in off the sweeps usually, or I wait for the next candle. The thing is that I've seen this happen too many times, and this is what I'm showing you guys. I literally had my stop loss at this low. So why this low? Because it's actually right here. It's with a gap. And it has order flow works is we should not go back down here. See, we can sweep once, but we shouldn't sweep again because it'll just completely invalidate the whole model. Yeah, I actually took this trade right here. You can see we're at the 243 range low, and we basically just went for the EQ price right there. Now these are different models with the PO3 ranges, but logic is there. You can see here if we cause a reversal here, then I want to see the next ranges start holding price up. You see the next here would be the IRD with a gap right here. So what happens in this gap? Look, you get a sweep again, and then we go higher. Remember, guys, you always are trying to enter as close to the reversals as possible. And I'm not saying to bottom tick, because I mean, yes, sweeping these is like basically bottom ticking, but you also could wait for like the inversion gap or just a sweep inside of a bullish gap, just getting off that, and you put it at the expected low to hold. Overall, this trade was very, very clean in my opinion as well. But it was in fact missing our point of interest. You guys notice here, there's not really a 5-minute gap. There's nothing like that here. There's no 15-minute gap. There's no 1-hour gap. There's nothing to support this trade idea besides being super bullish on this day and going based off the signatures that I've shown you, like just using like the ranges and sell side and gaps and so on. But after this, I actually did take a pretty interesting trade as well. The last trade I took on Tuesday. And by the way, I'm gonna throw in all the trades after I explain them. So we'll go ahead and delete this right now. And we'll go back to the 5 minutes. So I actually took this trade like 12.50 going to 1. So what you guys will see here is that at 12.55, price goes and taps into this 5-minute BISI right here. And if we go and head down to the 1 minute, you will clearly see here that we are in fact inside of an 81 range. So I'm gonna actually switch over to the 81 range. And before we go and look at the trade, let's go ahead and get our buy side objective here. So if I actually go to the 1 hour time frame, you'll see here that we in fact have this high from Thursday, July 16th, this big wick right here, right in advance of the 81 range. So this is just our time and price buy side right there. Go back to the 1 minute. And what I want you to notice here is that we actually created this high right in advance, and notice that price goes and uses this high to send price higher. And what I told you, old highs should support price. So in this trade, I actually just was spamming in long orders. Spam 2 long orders right here inside of this 5-minute gap, just straight up at the lows. My stop loss was below this gap right here, by the way, targeting this buy side. So this is more or less of what the trade would look like. So stop loss would be around here, targeting this high. Yeah, very clean. You guys can see here, this is kind of like a CSD in itself, all down close candles getting inversed. And we can see here the highs are holding price with this gap right there. You see that small bullish gap? Perfect. And then, yeah, price just expands higher. This gap would here would be the last entry for the buy model, because this is considered the range 27 gap. By the way, there was not really a clear entry for fractal EQ because price was moving so heavily to the upside. But yeah, we actually go ahead and look at the next day. I hope this is coming very clear to you guys. Literally doing the same thing every single day. Now I am switching my POIs, and some days that my POI is not there, I do use liquidity, but I want you guys to just keep an open mind, and sooner or later you guys will start seeing the signatures you want based off this. So we're gonna close the ranges and head over to the let's see here, the 1 hour. Okay, so you guys do see here, I do have this buy side marked from Wednesday, July 15th. And what we'll notice here is that on Wednesday, price goes and sweeps this buy side. Now, I didn't take this initial short, by the way, guys. But if you guys actually go to the 1 minute time frame here, and we turn on the ranges, the 243, you'll see here that we are doing, you haven't taught this model yet, but we're doing a different model here. And this model, I just want you guys to keep this trade in mind for the future reference, but this model is not always going to be the cleanest, because we're basically reversing off of equilibrium EQ. And furthest we're allowed to go is the fractal above it. And you guys can see that really clearly right there. And then the first target's actually going to be the range low, and then the next equilibrium, and then the next range low. But this model, I'm not teaching it just yet, but that is the idea behind the PO3 ranges with this model. And this model is just not, it usually needs manual intervention in order for it to get moving. Not, look, if you notice, this whole style model is actually a little bit like distorted. But besides this one, we're gonna go back to the 15-minute here. And I want you guys to notice something. The last used gap in this whole 15-minute move up is going to be this 15-minute gap right here. That price actually gone and inversed it. Now, I actually did go ahead and take a short off of this, and I did post a video on it on X. but I'll go ahead and show you guys the trade now. So we'll go ahead and watch the video, and then I'll bring the trade. All right, so go ahead and block this out till right here. And notice here at 10 o'clock, or not 10 o'clock, like around 10:50 macro, I'll go down to the 15-second. You can clearly see, I know on the video, I do have the 2 for 3 range, and I just target like the 81 range low. So in my mind, I was actually using the 81 range here, by the way. And I'll go and mark out some liquidity as well for you real quick. So we actually were targeting this liquidity down here, 7. Okay, yeah, right there. Perfect. And reason for this liquidity is the one nearest to the range. So I was doing time and price liquidity. We'll go back down to the 15-second. And I want you guys to notice something here, okay? I want you guys to notice prior to this whole move, okay? This short that I took, prior to this whole short, price is actually coming down from a gap right here, and this gap had this high that got taken. Now, this high should be protected. Therefore, I'm anticipating that this high cannot get taken. However, this high can actually get taken because it's not the protected high based off what I'm showing you here. So you can clearly see here that price takes out this high and starts the sell model on the 81 range. Now, I actually went in short right here at 10:50 and 30 seconds. Why? Because notice that we closed below all of these up close candles. And that to me was a sign that the algorithm was switching to a bearish program. Yeah, and then right after that, you can see the last use gap right here. It literally gets inverted, and we're going to mark this out with the volume imbalance at the bottom of it. I'll make it red, and you guys can clearly see right there, it taps right into it perfectly, and then starts going for the sell side objective. This was my trade on August 5th that I posted a video on. It was it's a very nice trade. I really liked it. It was pretty fractalized though, I will say, but you know, we are using a 1 hour IFEG and we're using the ranges to do the price delivery model number 1. Very clean trade. But yeah, we'll go ahead and see here. This was on Wednesday. Yeah, perfect. So like I said, on Thursday, we actually did not take any trades because of my protocol being that it's prior to NFP. We are not looking for any setups there. But there was in fact 2 clear setups on Thursday, and I'll go ahead and showcase them to you now. See? Okay. Notice here, prior to 9, go ahead and cut off the 9 o'clock candle as well. What do you have here? We have a bullish gap right here, and we have a bearish gap right here. Now, funny enough, we have a low right here, the sell side, and we have a buy side right here. Very interesting, right? Take out the low, go for the high, or take out the high, go for the low, expecting reversals off of both of these points, right? Look at the 9 o'clock candle. We go and we sweep out that low, almost fully filling the gap. We go down, and I'm actually gonna just the next candle in. Okay, we go down to the 1 minute. You will see here a very clean market maker buy model. Now, this is in fact using the logic that I just explained, because we are reversing off of EQ. And notice here, price does go to the fractal below EQ, and then it goes higher, aiming for what? First, it's going to be the range X, then it's going to be EQ, and then the next range X. And notice here that price clearly did this model right there. Now, for the entry wise here, you guys could have used literally this BISI right here. I haven't really gone over the entries for this model in particular, but I'm just gonna say you could have used this BISI right here. This BISI was clean, or the BISI afterwards, expecting it to hold. And yeah, very, very clean trade overall. You could have also waited for the price delivery model 1 to start. It could be a little bit more risky, but yeah, it's fine. You see right here, price goes. And we have a few gaps right here that got inverted, and you can actually use these as your fractal EQ entry right here at 946. Take it higher right there. You also have this gap right here, the small gap at the range 81. And price perfectly respects it, and price goes and hits our buy side objective here. There you go. And what I'll show you is that on top of that, now that price has in fact hit our buy side objective, we are looking for the sell model to start. Take a look here. Not the cleanest sell model, but you'll see here, it does start the move. And I'm sure that you guys could have targeted anything here. You guys could have targeted this low. I know it didn't hit it, but that would have been good. You guys would have probably gotten trailed out. Go ahead and see here. Yeah, okay. So go back down 1 minute. Yeah, so we never in fact hit that low, like I said, but we did start the sell model off of it, and you guys could have literally taken partials. You don't need to catch the whole move, remember, guys. I'm more than sure that even targeting this low right here, that's 123 points. It's more than enough for you. But yeah, it's very clear. Now I didn't take them just because it was the day prior to NFP. Simple as that. Now for Friday, go ahead and hide all the ranges real quick. What I want you to notice is prior to 10 o'clock or prior to 9, we do have a 1 hour BISI right here. Now I know this gap is fully filled, but there is a low right here. Okay. And we also do have like highs right here. So 9 o'clock opens up, instantly shoots up. Now, notice here that 10 o'clock is actually going to come down and sweep out this low. 10 o'clock tried, oh, that was 8 o'clock, that was NFP. 9 o'clock goes down, and then 10 o'clock sweep out this low, and then we actually start the buy model. Now, it doesn't get fully completed yet, but I'm expecting us to gap up higher when the market opens again. But we'll take a look here and see here. Okay, yeah. We'll go ahead and go to the 1 minute here, and I want you guys to look at the ranges as well. What you see here is that we have a perfectly timed and priced buy side here that we never hit. But I will mention to you guys right here, we went to the 81 range, we took out the low inside the gap, and we perfectly made a buy model off of it. Why didn't this go higher? Because ES already met the objective. I told you guys I like to use trades against me. SMT against me. That's how I know when to close price. And what if I told you that ES was targeting this high, but NQ only wanted to target this high during that time? You see, this would be an example of how I use SMT. Take a look. So ES, you can see we're clearly way above that high right there. So yeah, no, that's literally why price didn't go higher, because they both met their objectives already. But I am expecting that objective to still get taken down, take it out completely. But first off, to do that, we have to meet a lower objective, like some sort of sell side, to start the buy model back up. But that is literally it. You guys can clearly see here we have a very nice fractal EQ bullish for value gap right there. We have here a very obvious breaker right here. You can see I'll just mark the whole thing for you guys for fun. But yeah, it was very clear day on NFP. If you did enter at this gap above, you could have put your stop at this low right here because it's also in a gap. Notice here in this gap, we are keep sweeping it, and then we finally expand away. But yeah, guys, everything here is clear as day. I hope you guys had a good trading week, and this next upcoming one is going to be very interesting. If I'm seeing correctly, I do believe we have CPI and PPI, perhaps. Let me take a look. Yeah, so we have CPI and PPI. So yeah, Wednesday, Thursday is going to be very good. Tuesday is going to be iffy because it is the day prior to CPI, so we can expect choppy price action. But hey, if your protocol allows you to trade before major news events, then that's up to you guys. Mine doesn't. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys really had a good trading week. I will be making more videos soon on the algorithmic framework very soon. But for now, I hope these reviews will help you guys very well. Yeah, take care, guys. Stop.